Dir, liebe Gäste, liebe Devotees, ganz herzlich willkommen zu unserem Sonntagsfest in unserem Krishna-Tempel Zürich. Hare Krishna, dear guests, dear devotees, we welcome you very warmly to our Sunday program at our Krishna Temple in Zurich. Our Sunday programs are as follows. Now we will have a lecture, a talk, till 5 o'clock. After that, we will have our vegetarian feast, our Sunday feast at 6:15. There will be a guided mantra meditation. At 7 o'clock, there will be a temple ceremony. And from 8 o'clock onwards, we will have more kirtan, or what we call mantra singing. And now for our talk, for our lecture, we have a special guest and very old friend to the Switzerland community, to the Zurich community, His Grace Kesavacharya Prabhu, with his wife Kamania Madaji. And we are very happy that they took their time to come here. Prabhu, he is in Krishna consciousness, I think, over 25 years or 30 years. He joined, or he lived in this temple for over 10 years. He did his service here. Afterwards, he went to the US, and with his wife, he traveled there, and he was sharing this mantra singing of different mantras, this spiritual transcendental singing. He's shared there in different states in the United States. And now, after the pandemic, he came back to Switzerland and settled here in the mountains in Graubünden, where he has a very nice farm and where he is providing for devotees a place for retreat, for to take some time in the nature. And it's a very beautiful place, and I think it's a very enrichment to Switzerland. And we are very happy that he took his time to come here and share some of his experience and words with us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Before we start, for translation, braucht jemand eine Übersetzung ins Deutsche? And I think there will be a translation into Russian language, and this is already organized. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ramdas. I'm very, very honored to be here. It's like yesterday and today. It's a real flashback for me. So we were here for the kirtan yesterday, and we slept here and went to the morning program. And yeah, all my memories come up. I have spent so many hours in this room here together with Paramdam. Haribol, so nice that you're here. So, and there are so many old friends, Uttama Shloka, and who else I saw? I forget always those names. Ananda, Chaitanya. So now I'm bewildered because who's first time here in a temple? Wow, wonderful. Thank you for coming. So I'm bewildered. To whom should I give a class now? To the new ones, or to the very new ones? No, they sleep. So anyway, yeah, 30 years ago, I was first time sitting here between those pillars there, on the wall, and it was quite an experience. I came here first time, this temple, and then the big question came, the very big question. Why? Then my life started, And this question, why, which I realized later or quickly, that's when human life starts. When we ask this question. The scientists, they ask, how this came in place, this whole thing here. But I learned here why I'm here, why this earth. I had a little bit before in my life, I had this question because it was the same situation we have right now. Didn't change, just became more intense. I asked myself why I'm on a messy planet. Why I'm in this mess. Even if I'm in Switzerland, and this was in the 80s, when I did my apprenticeship and became an adult. But I already asked myself what I'm doing in this mess here. And I was quite actually frustrated about asking myself, what? This makes no sense. Like, just because we are destroying this planet. This was the main issue for me, like what we are doing here on this planet is just, we destroy everything. And now it's even worse. But when I came here, the real question went deeper. So, like it said, that's really when we ask ourselves why, who I am, where human life starts. And so this question was brought to me by the Krishna devotees. They really helped me to ask that question. When I came in here in this temple, then it started. It really started. And there were two questions, two why. And it was why I ended up here in this strange association of people who just singing always the same thing. I had then two questions came. Did I end up here in a like a crazy sect? Yeah. I remember only the class, the Sunday class when I was here, and in the end he talked about the 4 regulative principles, and then he added, and we don't eat garlic and onion. And I was like there, and my mind was like screaming, no! This can't be. So, like the 4 regulative principles of eating meat and no drugs, and so this was already a lot, because my religion was cannabis. This was my religion. This was my everyday ritual. Starting in the morning, I had to have my joint. And it was really my life. And then they come, no drugs. I'm like, ah. And then they came vegetarianism. And I was like, oh. But then, I left here that day with a beat bag and a cookbook. The devotee here, Nandi Ripaka, I remember. He inspired me, and I took it with me. And that day was very special because I learned a lot. I learned to really question question myself, question the society. And a whole new reality started. And it's so far out. It really, in the beginning, is too far out. It's really too far out for many. But I understood there is this free will. This free will we have. And I learned why we are here on this planet. Why we're here. Because we made use of our free will to become independent. I learned so much just in a few weeks. I learned so much in my life. It was so much. I learned that I'm eternal. The whole reincarnation was like, wow, this was so much for me. I never thought about it. I never was into philosophy. I never was into that. But then it hit me like, reincarnation? What? And then the devotees, oh yeah, you want to come again? Better not. And it was really like, what? I'm programming my next life. Now, I'm programming it, right now. And I was like, woo. Like you really start to think. And this is really this reality which you understand, okay, I'm eternal. And the devotees come and they talk about an eternal world. An eternal world. And then, yeah, you ask yourself, wow, what I'm doing here. Nobody talks about it. Out there in the world, nobody talks about the spiritual world. In the news, the TV, nowhere. But then you understand, okay, we came from this world, from this eternal world, because we wanted to experience independence. And we came here, and now we are in this mess here. It's a real mess on this planet. And nobody knows why. They think they know. It's a real mess. You can't hide it anymore. The climate change will show it to us that if you explode Mother Earth, yeah, she will react to it. It's karma. It's coming. And that's why I understood, okay, I cannot continue with my life as smoking pot, drinking alcohol, eating meat. I understood, okay. And I gave it a try. I said, I come 1 year in this temple. 1 year, I come here. I will try it out. Actually, it was not really my decision. The devotees really put it in me. Yeah? A wonderful couple, Devagana Sevita, maybe some of you remember. He was so kind to me, and he was so wonderful. I had his home program. I would visit his home. He would do the same like here. Have a nice kirtan, then a nice talk, and on the peak of the talk, his wife came in, Rama, and served the feast. Was like, wow. And I knew, wow, they are different. They are so different. And I said, okay, I want to become like you. I want to become like you. Therefore, I go in the temple. And so I came here. And it's such a journey looking back. It's not easy to break out, but we have to. It's easy to just be in the current and just flow down. That's so easy. Everybody does it, more or less. Just the current. And it means not much thinking. Maybe you think, how can I enjoy this current more? How I get more money? How I get more a nice place? But to really question yourself is the hardest thing. Especially in Kali Yuga, because everybody just flows in this current. And it's really hard to make the decision, no, I want to swim against the current. Because that's what you have to do in the beginning. You have to swim against the current. And it's like you have to build up your muscles. You have to ask yourself again and again, why I'm doing this. But then, so Krishna, He's in our heart. God is in our heart. And He wants to help us. So He wants to really help us to find back. And this way back is a real workout. Like Krishna, He made this world so beautiful in one sense. It's such an amazing place. Like we talked this morning. Actually, it's the jail. It's the place of Durga. Lord Shiva, Parvati. They're responsible for this material world. And Durga, the translation of Durga is jail. We are in jail, according to the Vedas. And what is the jail? The jail is birth and death. And it's the bars are the invisible, the bars. We can't see them. The bars are our own selfish desires to enjoy this jail. Obviously, if you live in jail and you want to enjoy jail, you will stay in jail. Yeah? If you don't want to get out, if you want to enjoy here, you will stay here. But it's jail. And the jail is this selfish desires. To just stay here and have a good party, more or less, after your hard work. So even those on this path, we have to be careful. Those who started their spiritual life, we have to be careful that we are not actually mixing material life and spiritual life, because it doesn't work. It will keep us here. It will keep us here. So Krishna says this material world, anything in this material world, anything beautiful, is just a spark of my splendor. Just a spark. So for those who first time here in the temple and hearing this philosophy, in the Vedas, the whole spiritual world is described. It's all there, all information. Even about God, what He's doing the whole day, the whole time. It's all there. How He looks, His friends. It's all written in the Vedas. I tell you, I would never have joined a religious organization without this information. Me, never. If somebody not would have been able to really give concrete, specific information about what comes after life and what is death, what is birth, what's going on more, I would not. I would still be in my religion of smoking pot. I would still be there, or probably killed myself in my stupidness, or how you say it. Yeah. So, but there's so much information, it's there. And when I was here this first year in the temple, this information came in one after another. And after 1 year, every day, it was clear. I still had doubts because it has to sink in. So the point is, spiritual life is something very sincere. Like this morning we talked about an athlete, a real athlete who wants to be successful. He can't do it alone. He needs trainers. He needs whole people to help him to get to the top. So the same way, if we want to get out of this jail, you can't do it alone. And it needs practice, 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 practice. And so this has to sink in. This is a whole process. And the process is very clear. It's all written down. Huh? Prabhupada would say, I can even give you the phone number of God. He said, you can call Him. You can call Him. So all this information is here. Now we just have to be determined. Have the desire to really swim against the current. Because what's happening on this planet? What's happening here in Zurich right now? Yeah, we can go and enjoy the lake. We can get a little bit there, a little bit here and this, but actually, it's just really some temporary pleasure. Today when I came here yesterday, it's so wonderful to me to just go back these years and experience here. And I'm so grateful to Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and all the devotees who are here who just dragged me along my journey. It's such a beautiful journey with all the challenges. Big challenges too. But It's a wonderful journey, and we have to learn to teach each other to swim against the current, to inspire each other. So this reality above us, this higher understanding of this whole creation, is the key. Like Krishna says, we can, just by understanding, he says, if you understand me, you will come back. So this understanding is not here, this understanding is with your heart. And so we have to learn to live this knowledge which is here. It's so deep. The point is, we are all so crazy. We're all so crazy messed up in how we got brought up. This whole society, what's going on, we have a total unnatural life. I grew up on a farm. Now I'm back on the farm. And it's so beautiful. Every day, every morning, I get up 5 o'clock. And I just chant for 2 hours. And it's so nice. It's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Just that I can, every morning I have like 3.5 hours where I just live my spiritual practice, and then my day starts, 9 o'clock. Okay, I'm self-employed. I somehow makes it easy. Those who have to go to work somewhere, it's harder. But to live out there, it's actually easy. And still, as soon as you come in, like you are all more or less here in the city, and it's such a challenge to just make your day, pay your apartment. I don't know, Krishna is so kind to me. I don't know how I deserve it. I really don't know. Sometime I think I lived here for 12 years, and I was 20 years as a brahmachari. And now Krishna is like just blessing me with so much opulence. And I'm just there, and I'm able to just invite devotees. We have wonderful retreats. And we can live a peaceful life where we focus on Krishna. Right now we even invite people per internet. It's kind of our spiritual charity, what we do. We invite people, it's called Work Away. And we inviting people to our home. They stay with us, do some little work. And we give them prasada. We chant with them a little bit. And they just come for a few weeks. And we read with them. And then they go on their journey. It's so beautiful. So we can share what we have. We just had somebody from Philadelphia. She was for a week in the Kali ashram in Rishikesh. It was a work away she did. She didn't know where she got in. For 1 week, she took 4 o'clock in the morning a bath in the Ganges. And not just quickly, in 2-3 minutes, they did ritual. They gave her no space during the day. She had to do so much work. She was a full week just in a Kali ashram. And when the guru said, okay, now we talk, they had all to come and they had their satsang. It was full on 1 week. Then she came to our place. And this was like vacation. But we did every morning. She came, we did kirtan, we did readings, and then we did seva. And so we can see how the devotees, we have to take shelter of spiritual-minded people. And even as devotees, we have to do it. We have to swim against the current, because even as devotees, we have to endeavor every day. And it's beautiful. It's like going back to the athlete. He has to train himself. This morning I talked about Roger Federer. Nobody knew him. So I think now more know Roger Federer. Yeah. He couldn't do alone what he did. And he had to practice every day. If you don't practice every day, you lose it. You lose the feeling with the ball, with the plays and everything. You can't do it. So it's the same for us. We have to be every day. We have to work on it. Otherwise we're losing it immediately. And the point is, it goes on and on and on. You can feel it. Like when I was here 30 years ago and now, this is such a different world. And I'm so happy in one sense. I'm so grateful to all of you who accompanied me on this path. And I know alone I would never ever dreamed about doing something like this. So this is a whole different world. Those who are new here, this is a whole different world waiting for you. The point is, do you give a chance? Do you give a chance? And it's totally universal. This philosophy, if you go deep in, if you give your time, you will see it's universal. This has nothing to do with a specific religion. It's universal. And yeah, I learned that quickly. And still now I haven't found any better, therefore I'm still here. I'm still here. If somebody gives me something better, of the new people here, maybe have something new to me, better, please come to me, talk to me afterwards. Yeah? Because more and more this desire comes. I see how old age helps me. It helps me. Tremendous. Because I see my time is running down. And I'm asking myself, what should I do with this little bit? What's left? What really should I do? Actually, I just want to do one thing. I want to be as much as possible in association like this. And that's what we have, our house, what we do in Davos. We really want to do lots of sadhu sangha, where we come together. And I'm determined, I want to have many different sadhu sanghas. Different levels. Different levels where the devotees really are interested, those who are a long time on this path. Okay, let's go deeper. Because there is so much. And in 2 weeks we have a gathering with Krishna Prem Rupa and Shyamananda. We will have a prayer retreat. Sharanagati. So maybe there is still some space if you are interested. It's just a weekend. We absorb. Nandarani, she will do something in September. It's for the women. We have a women retreat, and it goes very deep. She does trauma healing, and it's just that all this was blocking us inside, huh? Like, it's not easy to look at yourself and ask yourself, question yourself. It's even harder. Like, we can question this world, but to question yourself and ask yourself, why I'm still struggling so much, even on this path. And it's so hard to really find your black spots, your blind spots. Yeah? And we need help of each other. We need so much help. So this is what I dedicate myself more and more to. Before we were just really traveling and spreading the medicine of, or spreading the phone number of God. It's the chanting, huh? It's the name, and the name is so important. The name is so important. It's sad. The name is even more merciful than Krishna. The name is Krishna. But he appears here. The name is an incarnation. It's Krishna himself. And in this name is everything there. So we, after 30 years practicing and chanting, when I went out here of the temple, that first day I was here, and I took the Japamala with me, and I started to chant, and I never stopped. But I'm still feeling, I feel how I made progress this 30 years, and still I feel, wow, there is so much more to go. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You have this realization from the path, and you see how you made progress and how you are here now. And still you see, wow, there's so much more. And it's exciting. Actually, it's exciting. It's so wonderful. Then I read books right now about Shivaram Swami, and he explains it so deeply, like I'm just in a chapter where he writes about samadhi, bhava, all the higher levels of chanting. Wow. And we have to read this, that we want to go there. We need that. We need to know, to hear where to go. Again and again. Otherwise we're just dreaming of it and never really endeavor. We want to go there. So the goal is pure love. And in this pure love, it's written, we will realize our relationship to Krishna. The holy name will reveal it. One day you chant and you will feel your rasa to Krishna. First, it's written, you feel your rasa. Huh? You will feel if you are more, friendship is your main rasa, or to be a parent of Krishna. So more parental love. You care about Krishna. You're like kind of older than Krishna. Kind of. You're older. It looks like you're older. Because that's what's in the spiritual world. There is no old age. You eternally older than Krishna. And you have this mood of taking care Or, yeah, there's described of conjugal love towards God. So, the holy name will reveal it. But this means really, we have to want it. We have to want to have that. And like an athlete, we have to practice every day, and we need the help of others. Prabhupada, he says you can chant for many lifetimes by yourself. You make little progress. But we need the devotees, and we need the older devotees, which teach us. So, I need you guys, all of you. Please come and visit us. We are in the famous Davos, but we are a little further. Beautiful house. And it's a temple like here. We have a bigger temple room. It's a little bigger. Or the same, huh? Like here. So, just sometimes come. Take a vacation and bring your friends. Sometimes it's too hot here in Zurich, yes? And it's cooler up there. We're on a 1500-meter level, and it's nice. And then we can even go further. Huh? We do some little, my practice, sometimes I go out in the morning on my e-bike, and then I go up to the Alp, 5:30 in the morning. And then I drive up 20 minutes, and then I'm in the mountains, and then I chant my rounds up there. And you are like you're in the crown chakra. You're there, and you're kind of away. And you realize, wow, this earth. And it's kind of, it becomes more open. And it's so beautiful to chant. Because you're away. So yeah. Are there some questions? Doubts? Please. Yes.
Do you have microphone? Hare Krishna. Babu, you spoke about that we sometimes fall in this danger to mix material life and spiritual life. And His Holiness Sri Ram Swami, he wrote this book about Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, how to cultivate pure devotional service. And I wanted to ask you if you can tell for us some practical examples how devotees, we as practitioners, sometimes mix these things up. If you have something to share.
The first thing what comes in my mind, sometimes I hear from devotees, yeah, we need a balance. Yesterday I heard it also. One devotee came and he said, yeah, how can I balance my material and spiritual life? Yeah. Good question, huh? What would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah. How can I balance my material and spiritual life? Alone that thought means you didn't got it. You didn't got it. We don't have to balance material and spiritual life. There is just material life or spiritual life. But there is no in between. Prabhupada would say, then you try to mix water with oil. water with hot ghee, it just gives a mess. So the point is, first of all, we have to understand we don't want to have any more material life. There is no balance. But some devotees, they think, oh no, I need a little bit this, a little bit this, a little bit this. But actually not. We want to totally spiritualize our whole life. That's what we want to do. If you work for Bank of America, you can spiritualize it. You can. Any work you do, you can spiritualize it. And that's what we should do. And how we spiritualize it? We spiritualize it that we only do it to maintain our life. And everything else has to go any other time besides your family, your children you have to care for, your wife or your husband. We want to be with devotees. We want to be engaged. The same thing like when Prabhupada came. They gave their whole life. They all gave their whole life. Like 100%. To the outside. Inside, they had still many attachments and many things. They were not pure devotees inside, but to the outside, they tried. And we have to do the same. We have to do the same. We just have to know, hey, it's just for one thing, to come together and chant the holy name. To come together and talk about Krishna. To come together and have some wonderful projects which we want to develop for the pleasure of our gurus, of Srila Prabhupada, of Krishna, and nothing else. Nothing else. That's the devotees, they were 100% Prabhupada. When Prabhupada would say, okay, I go to Japan, open a temple. Yeah? Okay, I go to there, open a temple. I'm just reading Puri Chand's book. Oh my God, he went to Japan. And we should be ready to do the same. Honestly, we need, it can't be it's just one temple in Zurich, in Switzerland. We should have a little center in every little city where you can go and get some prasadam, where you can go and just talk to some devotees. After 40 years, like this temple is here 40 years, and there is not much. I can go to Aarau and I find nothing. I can go to Winterthur, I can find nothing. I go to St. Gallen, I can find nothing. There's so much work for us. We just have to have the desire. And start small. Just small. But that's what we need. So, material, spiritual life, to mix it up, is when we have no real absorption in how we can work with the devotees something out. You understand? Either here in the temple, like you see, he's in the kitchen. What's his name? He's over 70 now. Vrindavan Chandra. He's totally dedicated here. Totally. Yeah. So we need this dedication. You need this dedication. If you don't have where you dedicate yourself to a project or so, yeah, then Prabhupada said, you will make progress by
how you cooperate.
You cooperate and how you commit to yourself. To commit. So we need commitments. We need commitments to something, to projects. We have to work together. And it's actually fun. It's also a challenge, because as soon as you commit to something, then problem will come. And you have to be committed to overcome the problem. So we just need desires to do something for Krishna. Wonderful things. Look, I was in New York. And I knew I couldn't go on with what I did. And then I went to a yoga studio and I saw my first kirtan outside of ISKCON. My first kirtan outside of ISKCON. And I was like, wow. And then I went to the second one. The second one was Jayutal. Jayutal, he's actually a devotee. He's a real devotee. He met Shyam Das, who was a real devotee, Pushti Mark. And I saw him doing kirtan just with the tabla, one tabla player and him on the harmonium. And he rocked the whole place. And I thought, I can do this too. I want to do this too. So I went to my mother, asked her, hey mother, I need 10,000 francs. I have to buy a car. And I customized the car that I could travel. First day I wanted to go on tour, car got stolen. And I had only liability insurance, means you get nothing. I was there like, no. Then, you know what? All the brahmacharis and all the temple devotees, they came. You know what they did? They gave me another $10,000 and said, do it again. I had to go to car auctions and buy another car. 3 months customizing. I did it. The tour which I had to cancel, I did it again. And I went out. So you see, you commit yourself, you get really tested. And I did it again. And it was so wonderful. I never cared about money. And I went out. And it was so beautiful. I just wanted to spread Lord Krishna's name. And he maintained me all the time. We worked hard. I met my wife and we worked hard. And that's what it means. Prabhupada said, work hard for Krishna. And if you do it, if you really absorb yourself, you will feel it. And if you don't commit and really do it, you feel like, I'm not sure. And that's material life, when you don't have this desire. And then you are like, oh yeah, I want, but... No. We need something where we need something. We need others. If you can't do it yourself, you need others. Let's do it together. So, it's so much to do. Some wonderful things we can do. Now I'm there. The pandemic, our seva was over. We were there like, okay, next plan. My father gives me the house. And I said, yeah, but no animals, I'm vegetarian. He gave me the whole farm. And I said, okay, but I make something else out of it. I worked hard, 5 years, customizing everything. And look now, we have so wonderful retreats. People who are coming. It works. Where a will is, there is a way. But the will has to be there. We have to want. we have to want, Prabhupada say, do something extraordinary. That doesn't mean that we should do crazy things. And that we are just thinking, oh, I have to make such a big thing. No, extraordinary. And now you can think what that means for you. But yes, we should do something extraordinary, like Srila Prabhupada, with 70, just coming from India to New York. I mean, we don't have to do that. He did it already. But now we can do something extraordinary here. Another question? Come on, one more. We have 4 minutes.
I have another one.
Okay.
This often people tell me, you know, when we are eternal and we always get reincarnation and there's no loss in spiritual life, in our progress we take it to our next birth. So why it's so important to get this eagerness and that we want to go back now? So why we should hurry up and not just take our time? And
because you're already so long here. We postponed it already so many times. We're still here. If you really read, take shelter in what Prabhupada has given us, Krishna has given us, the desire comes. The problem is we don't read enough. We are not absorbing this gift which we have gotten. Same with the holy name. If we really try, that's my experience. If we really try, Krishna will give you the determination. Like Prabhupada, these books he translated, this knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, gives you the intelligence, determination. Determination comes from the intelligence. It's not here. We have to learn it again and again. We need it. And I'm so happy. Like, I don't want to make advertisement for Shivaram Swami, but there are other also wonderful books who more and more come out, which actually are like study guides for Srila Prabhupada's books. So we need to take shelter of these wonderful books more and more so that we understand. And this understanding will create this determination. More we absorb. I tell you, just in the morning to read a half hour is so powerful. Like what I do, I chant, then I do just my little Mangal Artik chanting, kirtan for myself on the guitar. I like the guitar. And I just chant the prayers, and then I read for a half hour. And after a half hour, I do again some chanting for another half hour. This is so powerful. Because every day you're feeding this determination to go on. Prabhupada said, every day we need it. This is our real food of the heart. If we don't take this this nourishment of spiritual knowledge every day. You will starve and then you are weak and then you're, oh, Prabhu, I can't. Yeah, that's what happens if you don't take your food. You will starve and your muscles are like nothing. And you have no strength. It's so simple actually. Huh? So, and there are so many books come out. Huh? I really like more and more Vrindavan. Just dive in there. It's beautiful. So it's all here. You have this determination comes, but it comes from association. Like my first guru, the question came in, how can we? And then he was, how can we? He always gave the same answer. How can we become determined? It's always the same answer. Association, chanting, reading. It's very simple. Hang out with people who have determination. Okay, last one.
What about
Hare Krishna?
What about in daily life practice?
Yes.
With on the working place, you can't talk about Krishna.
Yes.
So we just hold our mouth.
You think about Krishna.
Can you repeat the question?
He's by daily life and his work, he can't talk about Krishna.
He starts to talk nonsense the whole day, hours and hours of nonsense.
Yeah, then don't talk nonsense.
So
You think on Krishna. If you can talk about Krishna, then think on Krishna. It's very simple. So we have, the talking is the problem, that we are involved in others talking, in mundane talk. Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like this. I like that. Oh no, and then lamenting. We lament about what we didn't got, and yes, then you are just on the level of the mind. And the mind tells you, I can't. So yeah, we have to reduce our talking, our mundane talking, and use the time. This is one of the biggest problems, because we all like to talk. But if we are not talking about real thing, and real thing are the real problems. And what is the real problem? The real problem is our false ego. And how can we get rid of this false ego? That's the real talk. And once we are worked enough on this false ego, then we can really talk about Krishna. But not before. First, we have to really go deep in ourselves. It's not so easy to talk about Krishna if you have this false ego. It's not possible. And it's really, it's to understand what's going on in ourselves. We have to clear out. And it's a dirty work. Prabhupada said it's like cooking ghee and then all the stuff comes up. If you practice spiritual life, then the stuff comes up. And it looks really ugly because it comes from your past lives. What's there? It's ugly stuff. Huh? Then you realize, at a certain point you realize, oh my God, I have so much pride. I didn't realize it. on a certain point you realize, oh my God, I had so much lust, and I couldn't see it before. It comes up. We have to face ourselves. The most important work is ourself. Ourself. So just talk about that. What do you work? What's your work? Gardening. So you're in nature is good. You just don't talk with the other people about all this nonsense. You're absorbed with Mother Earth and all the beautiful flowers, and you try to see the beauty of Krishna. Yeah? Actually, it's wonderful. You're out there. We just have to stop this mundane talk. But it's even difficult for devotees sometimes. Because, yeah, we haven't yet the taste for more. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Please just continue what you're doing. Come again here. Hare Krishna.
Isko is Kesavacharya Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much, Kesavacharya Prabhu, and also Kamaniya Maharaji for coming here this Sunday, sharing your experience and also encouraging us to be more determined in our spiritual life. Before you go out and take the very tasty prasadam or feast, I just want to have one point. Next week there is a festival. It's called Snana Yatra, and this is a very special occasion to witness. You see here the lordships on the altar on the right side. You get the opportunity. They will be bathed, and this is a very special festival. We will have the same Sunday festival program, but we will start a little earlier at 2 o'clock already with more kirtan. And you can see and witness how the Lordship is bathed. And then we will have the normal, usual kirtan and talk, lecture, prasadam. And in the evening, there will be a special ceremony where the Lordship will go up